Hi there, I'm Elizabeth Ryder from WholeLivingBlog.com, and I'm going to show you how to plant your own herb garden today. So one of the reasons that you would want to plant your own herb garden is because you can have fresh greens, fresh food all summer long and really into fall for a really inexpensive price. So you just have to buy the herb plant once and you'll have fresh food all summer, spring, part of the spring, and then fall as well. So to get started, first you'll need your containers. If this is the first time you've ever planted anything, just go get yourself some containers, and if you're on a budget, look at a garage sale, but you can get these at most stores. The biggest thing to know about your containers is make sure there's holes in the bottom. If you buy one like this, a big planter, there'll be a plug in the bottom, and make sure you take that plug out because the water needs to be able to drain out. If your planter is bigger than, say, 18 inches high by 18 inches wide, fill it halfway with little pebble rocks and then your soil, and that allows it to drain better. Because if there's too much water in here and it can't drain, all of the roots will rot. So make sure that there's holes in the bottom of whatever container that you're using, and then fill it up with organic soil. If it's the following year, make sure you just clean out your pot, take out all the old roots, and then mix in a few handfuls of organic compost to put some nutrients back into the soil. So I have some herbs already in this planter. I have some fresh basil. This is 3 different plants. I have my rosemary, and I'll show you how to plant my oregano and parsley. So this part is actually quite easy. What I'll do is just take a gardening tool and dig a hole that is the size of my plant. Now I like to buy my plants that are already sprouted a little bit because they grow better. I've tried growing the plants from the seeds a lot of times, and I just find that I can actually get a really long life out of my herbs if I buy them in these little containers and they're already grown a few inches. So they only cost a couple of dollars. This is organic oregano, and for $2 I'm going to have organic oregano all the way probably through mid-October. So just really gently pull the plant out of here. Usually it just slides right out. And here's what you need to do. You have this plant. There's a lot of roots through here, so just really gently break this up. You don't need to tear it apart completely. Here's my kitty cat. Just really gently break it up and place it right there, and then just put your soil on top of it. Give it a little press. You don't need to press too hard, and just break up the soil around it. For the first few days that you do this, the plant's in shock a little bit. It might wilt, but it will come back. And there we go. And now I'll do my parsley. Same thing, just dig a hole. Same thing, just break up the roots a little bit and then stick it in. And then cover it with your soil and give it a press. Now these are all quite small right now. They're at least 3 inches apart from the base, so keep them a little bit of ways from each other. They're going to grow mostly up, but they'll grow out a little bit. And always save these little tags because this will tell you how far apart to plant everything if you're ever confused. Now make sure that you have your herb garden in a place where there's at least 5 or 6 hours of sun, and keep it watered every night. And pretty soon you're going to have an exploding herb garden of fresh greens all summer long. Alright, now that I have all of my herbs firmly planted into my garden, I'll just water this every night and watch them grow. A few other things: make sure that wherever you have your pots positioned, whether it's on a patio or a deck or a windowsill, that they're getting at least 5 or 6 up to 8 hours of sun a day. You can grow all of these herbs inside in smaller pots, and that works just as great as well. So a few important things: make sure you harvest your herbs. If you never cut them, they'll stop growing. So rosemary is something you can cut from wherever you want, but on most herbs that have the leaves, you want to cut it from the top and cut down to where the next stem is coming out. And the other thing is that you have to leave at least half the plant intact because the plant needs the leaves to get the sunlight, to get the chlorophyll to grow. I've done this before, so don't make this mistake. If you take all of the leaves off your plant, especially obviously something like a basil plant, it will die because it can't get the chlorophyll anymore. So learn from my mistake and leave at least half the leaves on all of your plants. The other thing is, you'll see I have some chives here. These actually came back from last year. Chives will always come back. At the end of the growing season, just cut it down to the base, but leave the plant intact in the soil, and next spring, as it starts to rain and get sun, your chives will explode out of your garden. These have been coming out of my garden since actually probably the first week of March, and I live in Colorado. Another thing is mint. I'm not sure if you can see this plant here. Put mint in its own container. It looks small when you first get it, but mint explodes. It will take over everything in your herb garden and kill the rest of your plants. So grow mint in its own container off to the side. So I hope you guys learned a lot today. I really encourage you to plant your own herb garden. One, because you'll have so much fresh, good greens to have in your diet. You'll also have tons of nutrition, and it's great on your budget. You'll also make a lot of food taste really delicious. So thanks for joining me, you guys. Head on over to my blog and subscribe if you like this video, and you guys will see me soon. Thanks!